first video had us doing questions on the Chapter 3 practice test, and we finished off where we only partially got through number 4. So we're going to go back to number 4 again. Chapter 3 practice test. And then we're still on page 140. Okay, make sure you're putting your page number. Okay, so number 4a. G, what's been given? Well, we were told on graph paper graph each linear relation, but we were just given the equation. So we're just given y equals 2x minus 1. The u is the unknown. Okay, so the unknown is the verb. So it says graph each linear relation. And these are all linear relations. Okay? Unknown, graph each linear relation. And we know that the linear relation in question A is y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, E is the equation. Whenever we're going to graph a linear relation, we need to use y equals mx plus b. GUES is our solution. Well, we're going to use the equation y equals mx plus b, and we're going to take what's been unknown and what was given. So in order to find what is unknown, we must use what's been given. So the given is the equation y equals 2x minus 1. So we loop these like we did in class. So because the loops of y's match, the equals match, it means that whatever loop comes third, the 2 must be equal to m, right? Because these y's are equal, the equal signs are equal, it must mean then that 2 is equal to m. So m is equal to 2. Just write that on the line there. X is equal to x. That would make sense. So because b and negative 1 are in the same loop, we know that b is equal to negative 1. We know that m is slope. So if m is equal to 2 and m is slope, then slope must be equal to 2. We know that b is equal to the y-intercept. And so because b is equal to negative 1 and b is equal to y-intercept must be equal to negative 1. Now we've been asked to graph the linear relation. So we're going to start with this piece of information. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to draw our axes. Y, X, Y is always on the up-down axis. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put your numbers on the lines, not in the spaces. 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so when we are starting with the y-intercept of negative 1, we're going to start. So y-intercept of negative 1, okay? So that is where the line sits or crosses the y-axis. So negative 1 on the y-axis is negative 1 on the y-axis, go down to negative 1. That's where the line is going to cross the y-axis. Now from there, we're going to do this. Move over a little bit. So secondly, we're going to use the slope is 2. Now we learned in class that slope has to have 2 parts because we know that slope is rise over run. Okay, so if there is no number there, we know the number that has to sit underneath 2 is a 1. We talked about that. So 2 is in one group. So when 2 or any other number has no bottom to it, no fractional number in the bottom, in the denominator, it's always a 1. So 2 over 1 is a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So the rise is 2, the run is 1 from the y-intercept. So from the y-intercept, which we plotted at the first step, a rise of 2, 1, 2. So 1 space, 2 spaces is a rise of 2 and a run of 1. Do it again. Rise of 2 spaces, 1, 2, and a run of 1. Notice I'm always running to the right because that's the way we read. 3 points is enough to create a line. Y equals 2x minus 1. That's it. You're going to go through and do 4b and 4c as well.